So NAD plus dosing for subcutaneous usage. Why would you want to inject yourself with NAD plus? As you can see right here. So NAD plus is a coenzyme the body uses to literally produce energy. It's crucial. I mean, it's used by every single cell in the body to work for DNA repair, for cellular detox, energy production. It's what's required in order to convert the food you eat into energy. So if you're depleted in NAD, you don't feel good. You feel like crap. Your energy sucks. Nothing in your body works as good as it should. Part of the aging process and dying is NAD. Your body just produces less and less NAD. So it's really just absolutely crucial to have good, adequate levels of NAD. And in today's environment with chronic stress, chronic inflammation, all the crap that's in our environment, overusage of, over drinking alcohol really depletes NAD. Same with opiate use, drug abuse, all that stuff. Really anything that's chronic stress is going to put a huge strain on the body, and your body uses NAD to try to kind of clean up this mess. It really drives detox processes and cellular energy. And so when your mitochondria is shit and you don't have good energy, good NAD levels, you just feel like crap. And so you can't test NAD levels right now. This is based feedback from Dr. Matt Cook, a couple other experts I listen to in the industry. You can't really go in and say, hey guys, I want an NAD test or whatever. So it's pretty easy to tell if your NAD levels are not good or could benefit from using NAD plus. If your energy is not good, you feel like crap. There's just, I'm phasing out, but there's just so many benefits to this. It's been used for such a long time. I mean, obviously I've made other videos on NAD. People have heard me rant. But to get into dosing, so this is from Empower Compounding Pharmacy. I'm gonna link the only online supplier that I trust to purchase direct from, Limitless Life Nootropics. You can find this stuff online from other places, but it's just quality. I mean, quality makes huge difference. Even among compounding pharmacies, which are FDA regulated, I've noticed a significant difference from, pharmacy to pharmacy, where some of it I feel great. I get all the effects I want, which is a fast boost in energy, mental clarity. Really, it's the best. I mean, it's not an energy drink because it's not a stimulant. It's natural energy, so it really can reboot your energy very fast when it's working right for somebody. And I respond extremely well to it. So, but if you're sourcing stuff online, if it's poor quality, if it's not, if there's impurities in it, you're gonna get reaction and stuff. So it's like, you just want to be careful where you source from. If you find the cheapest crap you can find, you're gonna get cheap stuff that's not gonna get the results you want. Like with everything, I kind of suggest purchase the highest quality stuff you can afford. And Empower, in my opinion, if you can afford to go through a doctor clinic, is, in my experience, has been fantastic. Results are always on point, always feel great from it. Online supplier at Limitless, I know he sources top quality stuff. I kind of know the people that he helps him source and the labs he's using, and it is all tested, pure, I mean, really high quality stuff. But so as far as dosing, so there's two different ways to do NAD plus. In my opinion, for those that have significant energy deficiencies and, chronic fatigue syndrome, for chronic Lyme, really run down. If you're dealing with drug addiction, you want to recover from severe alcohol dependency, that stuff, going the infusion route is bar none. Nothing compares to how fast that stuff can kind of reboot and get you back to feeling good and get you through, some really hard times. And it's really life-changing for that. And I've used it in that manner. Again, posted about that. But so it's expensive. It's wicked expensive. Insurance doesn't really cover it, but so for some, it's not feasible. So at least with using subcutaneous, especially with online sourcing, you can at least try this stuff out and see if it's really going to be a game changer for you. And if it's going to be worth saving up the money to invest into doing kind of a loading protocol with infusions. I'm going to be putting up, I've already created information and guides on that. I haven't launched my private membership yet. It's going to go into depth into all that stuff. Sidetrack as usual. But so if you want to try this out for kind of a cost-effective option, getting the injectable form is a great way to test it out. And I've had, I see really good kind of day of results with it. And it seems like, based on feedback, it does work pretty well for a good portion of people. Now, nothing works for everybody, bio-individuality, all that stuff. So just always take that into consideration. I'm one of these people that it responds extremely well to it. So as far as dosing, most times you're gonna find online, I'm seeing, I think Limitless carries it in 100 milligrams, 500 milligrams, and 1,000 milligrams. So starting out with using subcutaneous, I think going 25 to 50 milligrams for the first dose is kind of a good way to gauge your tolerance. And everything I talk about is you start low, test it out, see how you respond. You don't want to nuke your stuff with this stuff right away, because you can absolutely get side effects. There's flushing, you can get a histamine response, head pressure, stomach pressure. You just want to go slow. I mean, it doesn't make sense to jump your dose right away. Like, see how you respond, make sure you don't shit your pants or something. Yeah, so and here's the other kind of nuance. If you tend to be extremely sensitive to things and have very strong response to supplements, to exogenous compounds, you're gonna want to start lower. This is just a basic principle. Start lower. I'd say 25 milligrams. If you tend to be, really sensitive to things, then you're going to want to go even lower, just for those first couple doses to see how you respond, and then taper up and find that dose that works well for you. So the dosage range that I'm seeing work for people is anywhere from 25 milligrams up to 150, even 200 milligrams. But that upper end, you need to taper up slowly. Don't jump to 100 to 150, unless you really just want to see what happens. And like I say, it can knock you on your ass. If you're sensitive to this stuff and don't tolerate it well, it's not going to be pleasant. Some people have tried to push IV this stuff. People don't understand the level of pain and discomfort you can experience if you nuke this it's unreal. I mean, I've done a ton of IV infusions over the years, and it takes me to do 500 milligrams. It takes me an hour and a half. I can do it in under an hour, and I've done a lot of this stuff. But for some people, it can be 4 to 5 hours to do a 500 milligram infusion. It's that level of discomfort, with the chest pressure, with nausea, histamine, it can hit you hard. So with all things, start low, see how you respond, taper up, be smart about this. Not medical advice, just sharing information, all that stuff. YouTube, don't ban me. So I think that 25 is a good mark. Now, for myself, what works best for me is, I've been using this for a couple years, and really it's almost like I'm at the point, I've continued to taper up and go to higher doses, and it just works fantastic. I really feel great from it. Right now, I like to go doses about 100 milligrams, 100, 150 if I'm really shot and I really need some help on the energy front. And, I've even pushed it a little bit higher. Now, I just wouldn't recommend, just again, my suggestion, I wouldn't recommend going 150 or 200 at once unless you really know how you respond. If you're kind of working your way up there, next thing you do is you do, 100 in the morning, 100 in the early afternoon, just to kind of slowly work up and again, avoid those issues. Now, I personally I get no side effects. For me, there's really no downsides. Now, I get initial flushing, I feel a little bit of chest pressure, but for me, I almost want to feel that, because that confirms to me, like, okay, this is a quality product. A little bit of brain fog, that's all normal. If I don't feel that, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, this isn't, I know exactly how I'm supposed to feel from this, and it happens every single time. So I get those kind of initial side effects, very, mild, but whatever. 30 minutes to an hour, it's cleared out, and it gives me that second wind where all of a sudden, if I'm crashed, just burnt out, tired, within an hour, I got natural energy. It's not like caffeine stimulant bouncing off the walls. I just feel good. In that you can use this for, it's safe for addiction. It doesn't have a lot of contraindications. Always research. Don't ever take everything I say as, end all be all, but because this is a bioidentical. Our body produces this naturally. So stuff like that tends to not cause, you know, a lot of interactions and issues with even medications. Just what I've seen, just what I've heard reported. Always fact checked everything I'm saying. But yeah, and so my opinion, usage wise, I personally like to go, you know, 2 to 3 times a week on the upper end. And it's just, that just all depends on your situation. If you're in a bad situation and you're trying to, you know, detox or get off something, you know, a drug or a medication that's really causing issues, and you want to go daily or every other day, I mean, I haven't seen literature saying that it's a problem, that there's significant downsides, that it's going to cause any downregulation, any interruption in biological processes. And that's, again, that's reiterated and confirmed by experts that are using this. Now, in my opinion, you always stick to kind of the lowest effective dose, cycling, taking breaks. To me, that's just the intelligent way to go about this stuff. If you start to abuse things, I'm sure you can take it too far. I'm sure there's, you know, a point where the benefits, the side effects and issues start to outweigh it. But in general, you know, even these guys that are doing infusions, I've heard a couple doctors say that, you know, they have clients doing infusions every single week and they've done it for years. Now, the cost is astronomical. I mean, you're talking about like celebrities and athletes and stuff that can even afford that. But, you know, people that have done this in a clinical practice, they're not seeing any issues. Again, I think that's on the extreme end. Personally, I like to stay cautious when it comes to something like this, whereas, you know, we haven't seen long-term study. There's still a lot we don't know because it's a bioidentical and you can't patent it. There hasn't been a lot of really in-depth research on NAD+. So you'll see precursors researched a lot, like NMN, NR, which is, you know, Niagen, these precursor products that honestly nobody's excited about them. No one's like, hey, this is life-changing. This is helping me with chronic fatigue and in addiction. For those issues, you know, NAD+ blows it all away. Anti-aging, just generally feeling good. If you want to spend money on something that really makes a difference and you feel it with, then that's NAD+. The precursors, whatever, I mean, I'm looking into them. If they support and they make sense to pair with NAD+, it's cool, but I just haven't seen, you know, I know there's Dr. Sinclair and people that have really gone deep into this and they love certain like NMN or NR, but anecdotally, the feedback's not there. No one's hyping that stuff up, and it's been around for years, and they're trying to, you know, put it into all kinds of patented stuff, and it's, sorry, like that's what I've seen. Like I say, I've tried some of it, was never impressed. I've talked to a lot of people. So for me, NAD+, you know, it's the gold standard. You can afford it, then great. And I think, in my opinion, it's very affordable compared to what I've seen for, you know, those precursors product when it comes to using the sub-Q injectable form. I will link Limitless in the write-up for whatever, and I have a discount code for them. So at least I think this kind of gives you at least an idea of where you can start and go with that. And like I say, this is something that I just use as a tool to kind of manage a high stress lifestyle. Man, I'm doing a ton. I'm building business. You know, I'm building this business. Well, Project Biohacked. I'm running my day job. I have, you know, my wife's business. I'm also trying to help her grow. So there's a lot on my plate, and I spin in circles. So I can burn out, and this is one of the tools that keeps me, you know, keeps me on point when I really need to. And like I say, the feedback within the community, with my clients, is it can be an absolute game changer when people respond really well to it, which a good portion of people do. It can really be life changing. It can give people their lives back. And there's not too many things that I can, you know, look at the camera and say, you know, dead honest that can do that. There's a handful of those things. If you look through my videos, you're gonna see that I talk about them, but that's really bigger picture. That's what I created this channel about, to focus on the things that are life changers, that really make a difference for people who struggle. Because I've been one of those people that struggle with health and addiction and recovery and all that crap. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. Like I say, I'm starting to put out more content. Website is gonna be live. I'll link I'll actually link my mailing list. I'm going to be sending out offers to the private membership, to email subscribers first. I got my Facebook group. I'll link all that stuff below. But yeah, so if you've tried NAD Plus injectable form or infusions, and want to share your experience, I love hearing feedback. And I will say, it's not a game changer for everybody. There's always everything. There's outliers. You know, all this stuff that I'm super excited about, I always got a handful of people be like, you know what, I did that as a waste of money, and it, you know, I didn't get any benefits or I had side effects. And I'm like, damn, I thought this was a thing that everybody did well with. But this is something that in generally works extremely well for people. The people it doesn't work well for, we don't have there's no clear indication exactly why. I'm going to cite Dr. Matt Cook a lot just because he's one of my favorite guys I listen to, but he thinks that the tolerance has a lot to do about your toxic load, you know, which is kind of your environment that you've been in. If it's mold, if it's Lyme, chronic infections, NAD can cause a detox reaction. All of a sudden, it's going to increase your detox processes. So, you know, you can start to, it can really start to kind of boot the immune system and everything. And if that happens very quickly and you have these infections, it can cause, you know, some uncomfortable symptoms. And we've seen that with Lyme and some other conditions where some people, this stuff, it knocks them flat down. They're like overly fatigued and wiped out. To me, that's a sign that, you know, there's a lot that's going on underneath with some chronic health issues. And that sometimes you can work around those by starting much slower, really slow, and microdosing. And typically those people, they have to microdose everything to start anyways because they're so sensitive. Also, you're seeing people that have methylation issues, and not necessarily if they have the MTHFR mutation or SNP. That doesn't guarantee that there's issues, because I've seen these people with chronic infections, with Lyme, with MTHFR, and do fantastic with NAD. So right now there is no way to say, hey, you know, this stuff is off limits because you have this. I haven't seen it. It's just something to understand that, you know, maybe before making a big investment in this, if you want to do infusions, you know, try out the subcutaneous version, see how you tolerate it, and just give it time, you know, give it time to, to work through those potential issues. I'm not even gonna edit this. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, just give it time, pace it out. And, you know, as far as infusions or kind of ancillary supplements that may help, TMG, which is a methyl donor, is worth looking into. Magnesium helps with the infusion. I think it could help if someone has tolerance issues with doing the injectable. Quercetin, which is a senolytic, which I think is another one I've heard mentioned. You know, just stuff that I've heard, I'm listing off, I've heard from other practitioners. I've tried TMG. I tolerate NAD really good. I really don't need to take anything with it. If I do a vitamin flush after infusion, I do really well with that. But for me, it's just NAD Plus just does the trick. But like I said, so I'll kind of summarize. So my opinion, you start 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams. You know, 50 milligrams, if you really have no health issues, you're you know, not reactive to things, and you just want to get that energy boost, and you're kind of more focused on performance in general, you know, you can go 50 right away and maybe even higher. But still, I think the first dose, you know, maybe 25 to start. And then if you feel, you know, minimal, nothing really impressive, then taper up, even if it's the same day. Again, just my opinion on this stuff. Hopefully that spastic video makes sense and has some useful content in it. But that's it. I'll wrap it up. 20 minutes. Peace out, people.